All right, good morning, everyone. Bonjour à tous. Hello, welcome to all for our March Entrepreneur Ecosystem Coffee Break. My name is Carol Spicer, and I'm the owner of Spicer Facilitation and Learning, and I'm very pleased to welcome you here on behalf of Navigate Small Business and Allison Rowe, who is the manager over there. We started our Entrepreneur Coffee Breaks as a pilot, January 2020. We ran it for 3 months, and in March 2020, we all know what happened. And we've been continuing and going strong. And our community has built from, I think we had average numbers of 5 to 6 to 7 in January 2020. And here we are 2 full years later, and we're up into the 20 pluses in most of the attendance on our sessions. So we're very, very proud of this community and you folks that are tried and true joining us every month, and those that are new, welcome today. So we're very happy to have some new faces on here. We look forward to getting to know you. I do want to take a moment to acknowledge that I'm joining you from Pasadena on the west coast of our island, which is located in unceded territory of the ancient Beothuk. And I do ask that you take a moment to reflect on where you're joining us from today and acknowledge with respect the traditions and cultures of all the Indigenous people in our province. So the Mi'kmaq, the Beothuk, the Innu, the Southern Labrador Inuit, and the Inuit. So thank you for joining us today. Sharon, I think you're in twice, so you're looping around. Nope, you're dropped off. You're good. Sharon has started off our chat, so if you are able to do so, please find chat and put your contact information and say hello. We do like to send out a follow-up email from our sessions, so feel free to put any social media, your website, any contact information that you're comfortable doing so, as we will share it with our community. Goes out in Navigate's newsletter, and part of the reason that we bring you folks together is to talk to one another. So we're very thrilled to have seen sales happen before us live during a session. And I was actually very fortunate this morning. Stanley asked me a couple questions, and I'm going to be sending him off a quote. So it's always nice to connect with everyone. Very pleased today to welcome some guest speakers. They're going to introduce themselves more in detail later, but we do have our speakers from the Centre for Social Enterprise. Looking forward to that. So let's kick things off. I'm going to turn it over to Allison, who's going to give a brief introduction on Navigate, who is our sponsor for today. And then we will get into our discussion, and we'll give each of you an opportunity to introduce yourselves and have a chat as well. So Allison, the presentation should be up. Okay.
Thank you, Carol. And looks like we've got...
I forgot our poll first.
Oh, okay, you want to? Yeah, we can do that first.
If we could do the poll first. So folks, if you can open up a browser window and go to slido.com. And when you get to slido.com, enter in the code 955967. So open up a browser window. It's going to take you away from your go-to window. We'll see if it's active. It should be active. What community are you joining us from today? I know some of you have been putting that in chat, but this is just one of those little quirky, weird things I like to do. I get excited with tools. So this is a word cloud, and we're getting Corner Brook is beating St. John's at the moment. That just means more people from Corner Brook are joined, so it's getting a little bit bigger. Edwina's in the big metro. Love it. Part of the reason we do this, and it may seem like it's a little silly to do, but it is part of it is for me. I love getting excited about how far our virtual reach can be, and also it helps Allison talk to her funders to say, this is how we're able to provide a service to people outside of the traditional coffee shop in Corner Brook. So we're very happy to be able to share our experiences and network and get people together that don't traditionally get an opportunity to run into one another at a local coffee shop. So that's the benefit of virtual. So I'll give you a few more moments. Oh, I lost my Pasadena with Brent because he's back to work probably in the office. So now he's in Corner Brook.
And Carol, I can't find the link.
Go to a new browser, just like you were going to go on to,
Google.
Google or something, and type in slido.com, SLIDO.com.
Yep.
And then you should have a prompt to enter in a participant number.
Go ahead, give me that again, will you?
Yep, 955 967. And yes, Maria's mentioned there's a QR code, so you could scan that if you have an opportunity to do that as well. There's our Pasadena.
Slow learner, Carol.
That's okay. All good. Look at that. Up into Cormac. That must be Miss Liz. Dawn, are you able to get in to put in our Clarenville? You mentioned that in chat. All right, I'll just give it another moment and then I'm going to close it off and turn it back over to Allison. Okay. Allison, go ahead.
Thank you, Carol. As Carol mentioned, this is we're in our third year of doing these virtual coffee breaks now, and fantastic to see so many people joining here today and so many new faces as well. So one of the things that I'll do is just give a quick overview of Navigate, a little bit about our services, and if you want to reach out to me afterwards for support, by all means do. I'll be putting my contact information in chat. So my name is Allison Rowe, and I'm the manager of the Navigate program. And Navigate is a partnership between Grenfell campus and CNA Corner Brook campus, and we help people start new businesses. So and also grow existing ones. We do that through 3 different service pillars. We have 2 entrepreneurship centers, one located at Grenfell campus, one located at CNA campus. And those are open to students and the general public, and we support all of Western Newfoundland and beyond with our virtual events. We also have a business incubator currently located at the CNA campus, but set to move very soon to a new location, which I'll talk about in a moment. And we have a makerspace located at Grenfell campus, which is also set to move to the new space. And again, I'll mention that shortly. But basically, in terms of the services we offer, if you're an entrepreneur, or what we refer to as a entrepreneur starting out, and you have an idea and you're wondering where to start and how to get your business plan put together and launch your business, then the Entrepreneurship Center is where you would start. If you're looking to develop a design or a prototype or product, the makerspace can help with that. And of course, the other service pillars can help with the business side of things. And then for the incubator, once you've launched your business and you're commercialized, then we can help you grow that business even further. So the incubator and the makerspace are set to move to the new Centre for Research and Innovation. The Centre for Research and Innovation is a partnership between Grenfell CNA and Corner Brook Pulp and Paper Limited. For anyone who's in the Corner Brook area, you have probably noticed that the big white building right across from the mill that used to be the HR building has gotten a significant facelift and is looking very clean and fresh and new and fancy. And pretty soon, that's going to be the new Center for Research and Innovation. So the incubator will be moving down there, and there'll be co-working space and incubation space, and the makerspace / tech hub, because we're further developing our services, will be moving down there as well. And as of right now, we're anticipating a launch. Not sure if it'll be a soft or hard launch. COVID and everything that's happening around the world may make things a little slower than anticipated, but we are hoping to have everything in place for a launch the end of May.
Excellent. Thank you. So Allison, can I ask you to introduce our guests, just their names and titles, and
Absolutely.
then they will get into and sort of the bit of the background about what today is all about?
Absolutely. So we have been wanting to partner with the MUN Centre for Social Enterprise for a while on events, and this is a I'll say an introductory event for a bigger event that'll be coming soon. But we've got with us today Gillian Morrissey, who is the manager of the Centre for Social Enterprise, Sarah Croft, who's a program and student engagement coordinator, and we've got Mariana Jimenez Ojeda, who is the Social Finance and Impact Investment Project Coordinator. I hope I got all that right, a bit of a mouthful. And I think social enterprise, I think typically people have thought of it as nonprofit, like entirely, I'll say nonprofit and community focused, and that it was maybe not open to the general and business community, but things have definitely changed in recent years, and social entrepreneurship is really becoming a movement now. Particularly with COVID, with climate change, with everything that's happening around the world, most businesses are trying to introduce some type of social mandate into what they're doing, and customers and clients are expecting that now as well. Are your products and services ethically sourced? Are you green and clean? Are there, all these things feed into social entrepreneurship. And so we wanted to invite Gillian and the team to together with us here today to talk a bit about that, about the services that they offer, and the supports. And also, like I said, at the end, we'll mention a big event we've got coming up that will be open to everybody here and to the broader entrepreneurial community in Western Newfoundland. So with that, I'll turn it over to Gillian to start.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome. I want to initially apologize. I'm home recovering, I hope, from COVID. So forgive me if I cough or whatnot in my kitchen, because that's why I'm home. My team is at the office. So my name is Gillian Morrissey. I'm the acting manager of the Centre for Social Enterprise. As Allison mentioned, I'm joined by two of my team members. We're going to introduce ourselves in a little more detail in a bit. But we'll start off by saying that we're really happy to be joining our friends from Navigate for the Entrepreneur Ecosystem Coffee Break today. We love talking about social enterprise, and so we're excited to be here and to have this opportunity to tell you a little bit about our center and talk about social enterprise in general. So the center, and you can see some pictures of our activities here on the slide, was started in 2016, and it was a collaboration, or is a collaboration, between the Faculty of Business Administration, which is where we're housed on St. John's campus, the School of Music, and the School of Social Work. So we are a collaboration, but physically located within the Faculty of Business Administration. And we actually serve students from all faculties, schools, and disciplines across Memorial, including the Labrador and Grenfell campuses. And we work closely with the local social enterprise community, partnering with social enterprises and organizations across the province. Slide, please, Carol. It's awesome. I don't have to control the slides. So the CSE has three primary mandates. We speak in acronyms. So CSE is Centre for Social Enterprise. We have three primary mandates. So the first is to strengthen local social enterprises, to support and encourage local social entrepreneurs, and then create meaningful employment and educational opportunities for students within this sector. And we do this through three main channels of work, and you're going to hear about these shortly. So primarily, we have our work experience in social enterprise program for students, our social ventures incubator, and we're going to talk about those specifically. And then we also run individual events and activities across the university as well. So Sarah's going to talk about those in a moment. But first, I'd like to start at the beginning about what exactly social enterprise and social innovation is. And so slide, please, Carol. And if we could play just the first minute, 1 minute and 27 seconds of the video. I don't know if we might have to make the video bigger.
I'm not sure if the video would be live. No.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll have to skip the video. Maybe we can pop it in the chat and folks can watch it on their own time. Okay. The video
Yeah,
is
if
not.
you could do that, or we can try, I can try and get it up later if you wish, if
Yeah.
you have
Okay.
time.
Not a problem. So the video is a cute little, as you can see, a drawing of what social enterprise is, and it talks about the triple bottom line of social enterprise being social and cultural efforts, also environmental work, and then profit being that third part of the bottom line. So in traditional business, you're typically talking about, the economic benefit or the health of an economy by wealth, through trades of goods and services. But when we talk about social enterprise, we more dig into the positive impact that the business or the organization creates on society, culture, or the environment. And then the profit is kind of a side piece to that just helps us achieve those goals. The thing I'd like to point out, and that Allison already alluded to, is that we don't have to go all out and be, 100% perfectly social, as it were. Businesses can make small changes to the way that they do things that still have positive impact. So that could mean, you know, going green as far as not printing as much and using as much paper and trying to recycle in your office, your workplace. It could mean that you review your hiring practices to make sure that they are inclusive and fair and equal. And maybe those things do evolve over time to something bigger and becomes more of a built-in aspect of your company or your operations. So that HR policy that's focused on, making sure that everyone has equal access might grow into a focus on hiring individuals that face specific types of barriers to employment, and that maybe your business, really helps those people access employment and employment skills training. But the important thing to consider here is that it's okay to start small, and that you focus on that social, cultural, or environmental goal that you're working towards. The term social enterprise is a bit of a buzzword these days. As Allison said, it's picking up social enterprise as a movement, and you'll probably have heard it used alongside social innovation or social change, kind of in the same context as we talk about sustainability or sustainable business practices. So again, social change, it's that positive impact that we create through making specific choices about how we move and operate in the world. And social innovation is the creative kind of solutions that folks come up with to create or to have social change, to respond to the wicked problems that exist in the world. And a wicked problem is like the big ones, like poverty or housing insecurity or something like that. But we can take small steps towards these things, and every little action counts. So social innovation, social change, social enterprise, all related to sustainability, which ties back to, of course, the health and longevity of the environment and the planet, as well as us, citizens of the world, and the communities that we live in. The CSE is focused on supporting students and community who are interested in learning or enacting these practices. And in order to do this, we've assembled a small team. So we have a variety of skills and experiences. And if we can change the slide, we'll formally introduce ourselves to you. Perfect. So as I mentioned, my name is Dr. Jillian Morrissey. I've been in this role since May. Prior to that, I worked on the MBA, our program in social enterprise entrepreneurship. We'll tell you about that later. I am not a business school person originally. I have 4 degrees in music performance. I came to social enterprise kind of naturally through wanting to use music education as a vehicle for social change. So I ran 2 social enterprises for about 10 years here in St. John's. Project Grace was a community music program, and then we had a spin-off, basically arts and community co-working building. And then I joined the MBA team for the MBA SCE, MBA in Social Enterprise, in 2019. And in May of 21, I moved over here to the CSE, where I'm now the acting manager. And so I'll pass over now to Sarah, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Jillian. Hi, everyone. I am Sarah. I completed the Bachelor of Commerce program here at Memorial University in 2019. I completed 2 of my work terms here at the Center for Social Enterprise while I was a student, and I absolutely loved it. So now I'm the Program and Student Engagement Coordinator at the center. Within my role, I help develop and deliver programs and coordinate the student-focused events and help create experiential learning opportunities for students.
Awesome. And our newest team member is Mariana.
Hello, everyone. I am Mariana, and I am excited to join you today. As for my background, I am a biomedical engineer, and I worked in the medical device industry in Mexico and Central America for about 10 years until I decided to embark on a journey to find alternative strategies and organization that would put people at their core and have an holistic perspective. So, as my first step on that search, I studied a master in social responsibility, which introduced me to the concept on social enterprises. And in the spirit of unraveling what I found as an innovative approach, I arrived here, not just at Newfoundland and Labrador, but I also became a graduate from the MBA SEE that Jillian is going to talk about in a bit. And now I am happy to be part of the CSE Social Finance Initiative, through which, in collaboration with the NL Social Enterprise and Social Innovation Coalition, we intend to develop workshops for investment readiness, build collaborative networks, and strengthen the social finance system ecosystem in Newfoundland.
So we're going to hear more about what Mariana's project is all about and social finance in general a little bit later. But for now, Sarah is going to give us an overview of the different programs and opportunities that we have here at the Centre for Social Enterprise. So Carol, slide please.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to begin by talking about our Social Ventures Incubator. We launched our incubator in 2020 with an aim to support student ventures whose objective is making social positive impact, or positive social impact, sorry. So the ventures in our incubator, they must have a strong social mission at the core of what they do, and they must make a commitment to demonstrate that social impact. And so we accept students once a year, and they are provided with $2,500 to $7,500 in funding to develop their ventures. And they're connected with a business advisor so that they have an expert that they can work with. They're offered different workshops and trainings. They're provided to them to help develop their venture. And they also have office space that they can use here at the center, as well as different connections to the social enterprise and entrepreneurship ecosystem. So some examples of the social ventures that we have in our incubator right now. We have one venture that provides experiential learning for people in the outdoors, and this includes forest therapy walks, coaching, and wilderness adventures for women. We have another venture whose aim is to reduce unemployment and poverty rates among youth with disabilities, and also looking at increasing the number of young entrepreneurs with disabilities. And we have a venture who is working to decrease plastic pollution in the province. And so one of the things that this social entrepreneur is working on is collecting bottle caps and melting them down and creating products such as keychains and earrings. And we have a lot of other really cool social ventures that we could talk about all day. One of them being Mariana's social venture, but maybe she'll touch on that later on. The next slide, I'm going to discuss our work experience in social enterprise program. And so this program gives students of all disciplines at Memorial University experience in social enterprise, and it provides them with opportunities to develop their skills, build their resume, and so much more. And so how it works is we partner with social enterprises in this province who need support in a wide variety of areas. So it might be something in marketing, research, business planning, accounting. There's a huge variety, and we create paid full-time and part-time placements So the students will go on the employer's payroll, so they administer the wage to the student upfront. And then the center provides a wage subsidy to help cover that placement. And so the wage subsidy that we provide is $22.22 an hour for grad students and $15.40 an hour for undergrads. And depending on the employer and the type of position, these placements may be in person or remote. And this program is a great opportunity for social enterprises to receive support from students, while at the same time we are providing students with experience and skills development. And it's open to students from any discipline, as I'd said. They can be domestic or international students, and it's open to any campus. So we actually have a student from Grenfell out on a placement right now, which is really exciting. Slide, please. Yep, perfect. So this slide is just a small example of some of the wonderful organizations that we partner with. I won't talk about all of these, but can pick a few and describe the work that they're currently doing. And if there's anyone here who is new to the world of social enterprise, it may help give more understanding to add to Jillian's explanation earlier. So which one? The Hungry Heart Cafe. I love talking about these folks. So they're a social enterprise of Stella's Circle, and they provide training opportunities to support those who face barriers to employment. So majority of the profit that their cafe makes gets put towards the development of their culinary training program that they offer to these individuals. And this gives them the confidence and the skills to transition back into the workforce. Another social enterprise is Connections for Seniors. So they provide emergency accommodations and services to adults 55 years of age and older. And this includes things like emergency housing, supportive housing, transportation, food security. And then there's also the last one I'll talk about is Sharing Our Cultures. So they have a mandate to promote the values of multiculturalism, and they have a new program, a new social enterprise called Impactful Gifts, where they teach newcomer high school students how to sew, market and sell a product, that help them create a resume, prep for interviews, write a business plan. And this program helps these young individuals gain Canadian work experience and earn income and possibly start their own business. And again, this is just a small example of some of the fantastic local social enterprises here in the province that we get to partner with. Before I hand it back over to Jillian, I'm going to discuss one more thing. The next slide, please. Yeah, so we also host different challenge events. And so once a year, we try and host one weekend-long event where we choose a specific topic or issue, whether it's homelessness, food insecurity, and then we bring people together to work on ideas to help solve that issue. So in November, we had hosted a student challenge event where the focus was on preventing and ending homelessness. And this was 1.5 days in length, where students either arrived with an idea already in mind, or they came and met a group of individuals with similar interests, and then they came up with an idea together during the event. Throughout the event, the teams worked with mentors to build on their idea, and then at the end, they presented their ideas for cash awards. It's really exciting. We bring in a number of different community members who are working in that area, so participants can learn from them and the work that they're currently doing, and the participants then have time to really focus in on their own idea and prepare for the pitch presentation at the end. So it's really fun, really exciting, and something in the works possibly for Corner Brook, which we will learn more about later. So that's all from me. I believe Jillian is going to chat about one more program before we pass it over to Mariana.
Perfect. Slide, please. Thank you. So I did want to mention our the faculty's MBA in Social Enterprise and Entrepreneurship. We take every opportunity we can to promote this program. The CSE, in addition to running our own events and activities like you've just heard from Sarah, we do support this program in a very connected way. So this is a relatively new program, currently only in its third year, and we are accepting applications now for year 4 to start in September. It is a very exciting MBA program. So it's highly experiential and fast-paced. It's only 1 year. Traditional MBA is normally 2 years. This is a 1-year program where you do 2 semesters of academics and then follow it up with a 16-week internship during the summer semester. We focus on educating students in the traditional business knowledge and skills that they'll need to have an MBA, but with or through the lens of social enterprise and social entrepreneurship. The CSE is actively involved in the program by facilitating much of the experiential learning and community engagement that the program is involved with, as well as making the connections across local, national, and international ecosystem for student internships for that summer semester. So it is a cohort-based program. You start with a class, you take all your classes, same coursework with that class, and then you finish together as a group graduating in the fall, 1 year after you start. Very, very exciting program. As I mentioned, applications are open now for September start. It is a full-time in-person program here based at the St. John's campus. But it is highly experiential, and we do go out to other parts of the province. So in that photo, that's our first part of our first cohort in Port Union. We always do a trip out to the Bonavista Peninsula. So if you're interested in doing an MBA in social enterprise entrepreneurship, you can certainly reach out to one of us at the CSE or check out the program website on the Faculty of Business Administration page. Okay, and our next newest project we want to share with you is the Social Finance Impact Measurement Project. So we'll turn it over to Mariana.
Thank you, Jillian. Well, now I'm going to share a brief introduction to social finance with you. So what's social finance? Social finance is an intentional practice of investing in creating social or environmental impact. It goes beyond a traditional finance return approach and seeks to achieve a blended value of social impact with financial sustainability. It is basically a tool that seeks to increase the availability of capital for the public good. And I don't know if the video will run. If not, I'll share the. Oh, okay. So
My
it's
apologies. I didn't realize there was live videos in there. Otherwise, I would have done it differently. So sorry about that.
no problem at all. um, so yeah, the idea or the concept that went through the video is that um, we earn money in our day to day, and we are looking to invest it, and we usually use financial institutions to do it. But nowadays, we have the opportunity to use these financial institutions to redirect these opportunities on investment into a causes for social or environmental good. So you still get the financial return, but it's purposely um, um, directed to organizations like social enterprises with a social mission. If you can, the slide, please, if you can help me with the next slide. So now that we have the basic idea of what social finance is, let's go to how it works. So the social finance ecosystem is composed of 4 leading players. Of course, we have the investors who provide the capital, and in the other side, the investees who will utilize the capital. However, there are other parties that are vital for the existence of the social finance. These are the intermediaries and the enablers. Both the intermediaries and the enablers serve as the ecosystem connectors. So, for example, the intermediaries can be public, private, or a mix of them, and they usually are financial institutions that generate the pools of capital and then the tools to access that capital. In the other side, on the other hand, the enablers facilitate resources to increase the eligibility among the investees. So trying to transform social enterprises or social purpose organizations into investment readiness organizations. So they will do so by raising awareness, building capacities for investment readiness, generating supportive research, and improving the measurement of social impact, among others. A slide, please. So, but why would we look to access to social finance, or what is the purpose? So usually social purpose organizations, for example, social enterprises, base their activities on traditional revenue streams and other sources of income like grants or funding programs. These are also called internal financing. However, social enterprises, for example, or social purpose organizations need to seek sometimes for external financing when they intend to launch new programs, optimize or innovate their current processes, or expand their organization reach. Due to this blended approach that have social purpose organizations in which they balance social mission and a financial sustainability, it might be challenging to secure external financing. So here is where social finance comes to play. It represents an additional source of repayable capital with usually better conditions and an opportunity for social purpose organization to scale their impact. Slide, please.
Awesome.
And
Thank you,
I'll
Marianne.
turn it back to Jillian. Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. So that's a little inside look at what we're working on right now. So there'll be some news and projects and updates and things coming on the social finance front, but it is our newest project. There's a comment there in the chat about the book Donut Economics. So that's actually, it's a nice recommendation. Thank you for that. So thank you so much for sitting through our little talk here today. We're really excited, as I mentioned, about being here to chat and about, forging this partnership to work with Navigate on doing more with social enterprise, particularly on the west coast of the province. And, we want to share what we do with students here all across the province and community, I should say. So if anything in the presentation has piqued your interest, if you're wondering, you have further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We've got our website there, our Facebook and our Twitter accounts. And then you can also contact us through our general center email, which is socialenterprise@mun.ca. And then our direct emails, if you want to speak to one of us in particular, those are on our website. So again, we're really looking forward to doing more with the Navigate team. And we do have some upcoming social enterprise things in the works. I think Allison's going to speak to those coming later this spring. And we do hope that we'll see you all there. Allison, turn it over
Excellent.
to you.
Thank you, ladies. So I know on our call we have, I'm sure you've piqued the interest of some of the folks that here that provide employment services. I know there are others here that support students, and I know there are others here that are in the wellness industry that always look to social enterprise and wellness of the community. So I'm sure there's quite some interest happening. So I will open it up to just first some general questions, and then certainly we'll have everyone an opportunity to introduce themselves and their business and organization that they represent. So there is the tools that you can raise your hand or you can type in chat if you have a question, if you would prefer. But does anyone have any questions for the ladies from Social Enterprise Center? So we have raised hand. So Susan, go ahead.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Lunchtime, actually. Good afternoon. So it was actually mentioned right in the beginning of the chat, which was exactly my question, I've been in business a long time, so like 24 years, but I was really looking to shift my business model into the social enterprise model. And it's been really fascinating because when I work with, say, consultants, and I have a strategy consultant, they all look at me and say, well, that's the hard way, Sue. And I'm like, ah, that's not helpful. That's not helpful. So I'm finding it, and so I was really looking at a lot of the models of what was being used in the UK. And here's what led me to this question. And Jillian, I was briefly, I think, just lobbed some stuff at you, and I spoke before I'd had a chat about this with your predecessor. Um, Majority of the models are based on not-for-profit, it seems, in Canada, and I wanted to do for-profit. So this is the little, the barrier, I guess, if we want to call it that, or the rub that I keep coming up against. And I have a lot of reasons about why I want to do for profit. But when it comes to the funding, so I'm a bit long in my description here, but this is the first thing that was talked about, is how traditional funding is difficult, how to access funding, and everything that came up with regards to, say, government or the EDC or some of these other programs. They all went through not for profit. And so I didn't qualify for anything. And so I actually just came out of a conference that was in the UK last week, virtually, that was on authentic leadership. And there was a lot of talk with social enterprise. We had wonderful people from UNICEF and the United Nations there. And so social enterprise was really discussed there. And they were talking about in the UK how they have this more hybrid model for funding. And so it is sort of, they created a special category. So it's not for profit, and it's not being run through the same sort of categories within business lending. So long question, but I'm just wondering if we've made any inroads here, if you have any feedback about it. Are we still sort of stuck here within how it's being categorized? If you can, open that up for me a little bit, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, so it's an interesting conversation, and one we hear often is that when people think or hear about social enterprise, they immediately jump to the nonprofit charitable. But that's not true. Social enterprise can just as much be a traditional kind of for-profit
I'm
registered
just going
business
to
as it.
jump in for a second. Susan, can you mute up while Jillian's talking? 'Cause I think you're
Sorry,
looping.
apologies. Thought I did it. I'm so bad at that.
That's okay.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Okay,
go
so yeah,
ahead.
we won't get the feedback. Yeah, so social enterprise not limited to the way that the legal registration of the company. In British Columbia and Nova Scotia, they've actually created a separate legal registration. So in BC, it's called a community contribution company, and in Nova Scotia, now I'm forgetting, I think it's a CIC, but I forget what exactly it stands for. Anyway, I'm going to share the incorporation kind of rules and steps here for the BC one, so you can just kind of have a look at it. We don't have that in Newfoundland and Labrador. We only have registering as nonprofit or charitable or a traditional for-profit company. So we don't have that flexibility or the regulatory designation. I don't know that or I don't personally think that that's necessarily a bad thing. Whenever I'm talking to social entrepreneurs, I always say start for profit, start traditional. Thank you, Mariana. Community interest company. There you go, CIC. I always encourage people to start for profit because nonprofit and charitable legal registration locks you into a lot of reporting and regulation and things that can be, quite complicated. So I actually always say, start as a traditional for-profit company. That doesn't limit you in the way that you do your business, but there are some kind of hoops, as Susan's mentioned, that there might be funding opportunities that are only for nonprofit or charitable organizations or similar. Susan, specifically to your question about, accessing funding, I'm not sure that I have an answer in terms of other than that we're behind, right? The UK is the leader in social enterprise and funding and all of this landscape. We always look to them for kind of the best practices and the cutting edge, as it were. The province here is trying to catch up. They recognize that social enterprise is a way forward, a better way perhaps of doing business, but we certainly aren't caught up even maybe to other provinces or certainly not to the UK. So I think there are definitely some hurdles. There are some organizations that are kind of muddling their way through and figuring out how that balance works. Some big corporations are able to have the manpower, the legal power, woman power, maybe I should say, to blend two models where you have a for-profit company that funnels funding into, say, a nonprofit or charity that then does kind of more of the social piece than the for-profit company does. That can be quite complex because you're dealing then with two integrated models. So we typically only see that between, really big. So prime example is Shorefast, which is the Fogo Island, company owned by or started by Zeta Cobb. So it's large companies that can deal with the legal loopholes that are needed to jump through, or not loopholes, but the hoops that you need to jump through to kind of put those two together. But yeah, Newfoundland doesn't have a legal registration that kind of gives the for-profit with social enterprise type ability as the way that the nonprofits have. There are, funding opportunities. Mariana's just shared the Shorefast link if you want to read about that. But as of right now, the government is kind of stuck a little bit, I would say, in how they handle social enterprises. They're very much learning as well. So if it's government funding you're looking at, it can be challenging. Sometimes the regulations, you get stuck in them. There's no choice. They have to do it a certain way. Other times with a conversation, with the right people, you might be able to get something. The other thing we're seeing here in the province is that there are alternative funders, and this is going to be kind of in Mariana's wheelhouse, but there are alternative funders and opportunities for funding that are cropping up. So we're going to hopefully see now movements towards impact investment or social finance coming, but we do have some foundations working and investment companies working in the province who are providing funding on a much, I guess, less restrictive platform than some of the traditional avenues. So that's something certainly if we want to connect, we can maybe get some information together in one place for you and share that. But I would fully acknowledge and agree with you that it's not a perfect landscape. We're nowhere near what the UK has organized and figured out. But they are the leaders that we look to all the time. I'm sorry, there's not a really great answer for that.
Thank you. Just even, I guess, confirming what I found, was helpful. And yes, I'd love to get that little piece of information because that was where my thought went. Well, can we funnel something different? Whether it's a new way of investing, because all of this is about newness, isn't it? And innovation, and creativity. So perhaps we had to come up with new models even for financing and how we do things. And I knew about Shorefast and the model, and it's exactly what I came up again. I'm not yet as large of a corporation as what Zeta's doing, and so those models didn't quite work for me. So really, it was helpful, even though it confirmed what I knew, but it's still helpful to at least know that I was not missing something. But I'll send you maybe an email, Jillian, about
Yeah,
the.
pop us an email for sure, and I think you'll in a couple of months you'll see Mariana's project. Her workflow is going to come out with some more detailed workshops and activities for people to learn more about social finance opportunities, I guess, or modes. So we're hoping that that's really going to start picking up here in the province in the next year or two. So fingers crossed.
Excellent. Thank you. Great question, Susan. Sharon, over to you.
Hi, good morning or good afternoon. I'm just wondering, you mentioned that you had somebody from Grenfell involved in this initiative. Is there a contact person that you work with on the West Coast? Because that's where I am. Thanks. By the way, it's a great presentation. Enjoyed it thoroughly.
Thank you. Sarah, do you want to talk about how we connect with and hire students?
Yeah, so our work experience program, we don't actually really promote that program. It's been going fairly decent so far with kind of word of mouth, and so we connect with different departments, whether that's departments and disciplines here on St. John's campus or Grenfell campus, and well, to go back, let's go backwards a little bit first. So social enterprises or employers that are in the Grenfell Corner Brook area, if they hear about our program, or if we know someone and we're talking about our program, they reach out to us, and that's kind of just how the work experience placements develop. And then how we get the word across to Grenfell students is through, like I said, reaching out to the different departments across campus and getting them to circulate that amongst different programs that might be of interest. A specific, I say, Jillian, we're in contact with a good amount of folks over in Grenfell
Yeah, we're
campus.
building a pretty extensive network of faculty
Yeah.
and staff in departments. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, so we send it out if the job is specific to what's the role that we've got the Grenfell student in right now, Sarah?
Right now, that's a market research position, and
Right.
yeah, that's a remote position. Hmm.
So if it was, we'll say, like a business type role or position that the organization would be hiring for through our program, then we might send that out specifically to the business schools at both campuses, or other faculties where the students might have related skills.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Sarah mentioned, we don't advertise because we have very robust program. We often have 6 or 7 students out on placements every semester. So yeah, the social enterprises or the companies come to us and say, we need help with this particular position. Or we think this is, worthy of hiring a student, and we approve hopefully an application, or we'll work with them to develop the application, and then we send it out to partners. And yes, now that we're building this relationship with Navigate, hopefully we'll be able to communicate it through Navigate Center as well.
Yeah, and one positive thing that came from the pandemic is we have been able to create remote positions through this program. So even if the employer is here in the city, we can now contact different departments at Grenfell campus and get it out to students there to do the position remotely. So it gives us more flexibility and more opportunities for sure.
I'm sure Stanley's interested in that. He's up in Labrador as well. And you've got a campus
Yeah,
up there.
I was just going to say we do work with Labrador campus. The dean up there is a good friend, and we've been doing several projects through the MBA in social enterprise and the center. So we're keen to now start funneling students into our work experience program from Labrador campus as well. So that's something we're actively working on. For anybody who's interested, Mariana, she's really quick on the links here. She's got the web link to our WEASY, we call it. Again, we talk in acronyms, work experience in social enterprise. So if you're interested, I think there's a couple of jobs, or at least one posted there right now. You could see what that looks like. And then if you're an entrepreneur and you would be interested in working with us to hire a student, you could certainly reach out. Sarah manages that program, so she's the person to talk to. And we can help, write a job description and get the funding approved and hopefully get a student working with you. Sarah, do you want to give the specifics, like how long are those placements? And I know you talked about them being full-time or part-time, but we've talked about
Yeah.
them being a semester, but sometimes they're different lengths.
Yeah, so as long as they fall within a semester, then the length of it can be super flexible for us. So if you want a student in the winter, it would have to take place between January and April. Summer, of course, would be May and August, and then the fall would be September to December. We've seen placements that are 10 weeks. We've seen some that are 16 weeks. It really depends on the position and the amount of work that's required. So as I had mentioned, we provide a wage subsidy, but it's on the employer to cover the mandatory employment costs, so like vacation pay, EI, CPP, that sort of thing. And then for the amount of hours, I'm not sure if I mentioned that or not, but graduate students can work a maximum of 24 hours a week. If they're international students, that might drop down to 20, depending on their work visas. And undergraduates can work a maximum of 19 hours a week.
And then we have 2 avenues. So we do work with our cooperative education office. So if you're interested in having a full-time student from our BCom, Bachelor of Commerce program in the cooperative stream, they have to do like full semester placements. So we can work to provide those to social enterprises as well. That's a full-time placement. And then the other opportunity, which I'll speak a little bit more to here for for having students come work in your organization. As I mentioned, the MBA in social enterprise has an internship component in the summer semester. So those students are always looking for placements for their internships. The faculty has funding to support those. So if it's not, if you don't have your own funding to take on a student and pay them for the summer, we can help support. The center does the facilitation of, or works assisting the facilitation of those internships. So if it's something you're interested, again, you can reach out to us. They only happen in the summer. They're full time for 14 to 16 weeks from May to mid-August. And that it's an MBA in social enterprise. That's the only student you'll get. Whereas with the work experience program that the center runs, we could have students from all disciplines, either undergraduate or graduate. So a couple different options there. But certainly, if you're interested, please feel free to email Sarah or read about it on our website. And we'd love to work with more companies and organizations on the West Coast or any part of the province.
Excellent. Sharon, did that answer what you're looking for? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Excellent. Daphne, up to you.
Hi, thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Hello, everyone. Very interesting. It's the first time I'm hearing about this. I just wanted to kind of ask a quick question. I am currently working with Study and Stay NL as the career strategist. We basically are supporting international students who are in the last year of their graduates, and majority of them will be graduating before the end of the year. I believe most of them, few of them will be graduating next year. I'd like to learn more about your program because it sounds like we can probably collaborate and I would like to get the two other ladies that are in the program involved and understand more of what you're offering so we can extend it to the international students. And am I safe to assume that you guys are already partnered with MUN and CNA? Because I believe I heard that, but I don't know if you at all been in touch with the Study and Stay NL program, which is fairly a new program.
Yeah, so we work with MUN. We're a MUN Centre, Memorial University. I don't know that most of our programs are limited to Memorial students. Sarah, I think maybe some of the challenge events, we've had some CONA students, CNA students participate, but we're particularly focused on the university.
Okay.
We would be open. I'm not super familiar with the Study and Stay program, but we have meetings all the time to learn and look for collaboration. So certainly welcome you, Daphne, to send us an email and we can find some time. I know I said I wasn't going to say this out loud, but I know my schedule as of next week is much more clear than it is this week. So certainly if you want to pop us an email, we could all jump on a call with you and have a chat and see what alignment there might be for collaboration there. We'd be happy to do that.
Thank you. I will include the other two ladies that are in the program as well, Hillary
Perfect.
and Linda, on the email and introduce you as well to them. So
Wonderful.
I'll do some research on your company first and then definitely will reach out to you guys. Thank you so much. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, not a problem. It's worth mentioning, Daphne, thanks for bringing it up, that so we talked about how we serve students from all faculties and schools and disciplines with university. But we do have a focus in our most recent kind of mandate in the last year or so of engaging with international students and also prioritizing arts and those humanities type students. We get a lot of business and engineering and computer science that are interested in working in this kind of stuff, but we are prioritizing arts and humanities as well. So, just because you might be an arts nonprofit or doing something that's maybe not seemingly like some kind of big corporation or business type model doesn't mean we can't help you or can't partner with you in some capacity. So certainly reach out. We really love creating placements for students that are not just business students. We've had theology students out recently. We had education students. Sarah can run through the list of disciplines we've had successful placements for. So it really is not limited to any particular discipline, certainly not business. We just live in the business building, that's all.
Yeah, and even better to add to that, if we can get two different programs, two different students working together on a multidisciplinary placement, we're trying to create as many of those as possible. So you're not limited to just one student a semester. If you want to apply for two and then bring two different skill sets together, that's also fantastic.
Excellent. Thank you. Any other questions for our presenters this morning? We've had quite a few people have to pop off, which is understandable. There's a lot of demands on the go. For those that have remained, I'm going to run down through the list and give you folks an opportunity to say hello and let everyone know who you are. I'm going to do a reverse order this time by first name because I usually start at the top. So Susan, you're going to be up first and then Stanley. So if you want to tell us a little bit more about who you are, where you are, and just let folks know what you're at.
Thanks, Carol. My name is Susan O'Leary, and I'm in St. John's. I've worked in wellness healthcare for 24 years. About 2019 is when I started this process of branching out with the idea that I really wanted to shift, like I said before, into the social enterprise sort of model because I wanted to shift basically how we were doing healthcare completely. So it's a pretty big vision. And I wanted to really stir the pot. So the idea of this is about how we use wellness to create change in the world, which to me is a social enterprise model. So instead of about taking the model of treating things or bringing people in or just doing workshops, this idea was how do we start taking wellness as a way to create change on every level of society. I have some specifics for me that are very important to me. But that was the model that I'm using. So that's the big vision. And, that's what I'm doing right now.
Excellent. Thank you. So glad you could join us, Susan. It's nice to see you again. It's been a little while. Excellent. Stanley, you're up next, and then it's going to be Sharon.
Okay, thank you. My name is Stanley Oliver. My current job, I'm the manager of the Labrador Office for Indigenous and Northern Skilled Trade. In a very quick way, what we do here is we promote and support and Indigenous apprentices become journey persons. But before I started this job, I spent almost 20 years as a Indigenous negotiator for various Indigenous groups in Labrador, mainly Labrador Inuit Association, now Nunatsiavut, Nukutukavut, and the Innu Nation. But I did spend, sounds like I'm old, but I was lucky. I started in government when I was 18, so by the time I was 40, I had almost 20 years in. I spent 5 years with the Labrador Friendship Centre, who's the largest social enterprise in Labrador with to this day, has over 32 programs and probably 50 or 60 staff. So my heart still belongs in the social world. I used to always say, making a profit in the social world is not a dirty word, as long as that profit goes to advancing the services of that program and not to somebody's shareholders or dividends. So, social enterprise is key to what we do, right?
Excellent.
But my point of joining today was to learn more about the programs that you folks offer, and does it have any relation to young apprentices who may be looking for work or employers who may be looking for subsidies to support those programs. I noticed Jillian said that it's a lot of post-secondary and masters and PhD or whatnot and a degree, but we deal mainly with the skilled trades and 2-year heavy equipment operators and millwrights. But if there's some relevance, it's always good to hear new things.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us, Stanley. And I know you're having some weather challenges up your way, so stay safe on
As
that.
always, a blizzard in Labrador in March.
Always. Just a reminder to post your contact information over in chat so that we can grab that for our newsletter or Allison's newsletter. Sharon, you're up next. And then it's going to be Mireille.
Hi, everybody. Sharon Evans. I'm in Pasadena. We get a lot of snow here too, Stanley. It's going to snow right on through, all night, all day, all night, all week, whatever. We'll take it. I'm a meditation instructor. I'm in wellness. I loved what you had to say there, Susan O'Leary, about changing the way we look at healthcare and well-being. I take part in any platform I can get that message out, that I share that same message. I'm part of the Canadian Longitudinal Study on Aging. They've been following me since I've been in my 30s. So I did I guess they're just studying how I stay so vital and young They can't see me, you see. They're doing it by phone now. But anyways, I own a business, Siva Meditation. I trained with Deepak Chopra and his team in California. I came from the corporate world, where I saw a lot of suffering and struggle and not a lot of support, consistent support for the overall well-being of each person as being, important. Most of my clients, I will say most of my clients who reach out to me for mindfulness, for well-being sessions, whether it be grief or anxiety or depression, um, are in high stress jobs. A lot of physicians, Jillian, I'm seeing more and more physicians in person, and because of COVID, um, on Zoom calls, healthcare professionals, lawyers, teachers, and the such. But, I also follow the premise that if we look to ourselves first, and this is the story I gave to the Canadian um, longitudinal study yesterday, it starts here. The well-being, the wellness has to start here. I have to look at me first. And, I'm not going to find wellness out there. If I have a sore throat or if I get COVID, I'll be on your doorstep. I'll be on healthcare's doorstep saying, please help me. But I have to look to me first and do all the right things for me. And that starts with quiet. It starts with responsibility. It starts with social responsibility. A guru of mine, Sadhguru, he's an Indian guru. He's traveling all across the globe, 100 days on a motorcycle. He's 65. He's bringing awareness to soil. Save the soil. It's our planet, you see, and we are connected to that. So anytime I get a platform like this, I like to get that message out there. I'm interested in speaking. I'm interested in joining any kind of initiative to bring light to our situation, our global situation. We're all connected. And I thank Carol and Allison for giving me this opportunity and for giving us all an opportunity to connect. Peace to all of you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Sharon. Mireille, you're up next, and then it will be Liz. Mireille, must have been interesting for you to hear shout out to the UK since you've recently come from that part of the world.
Yes, we're finally just starting to feel a little bit settled here now. Though my British husband was looking out the window this morning and just asking, when does it end? But I was like, sweetie, I warned you, we're going to ski country, which is great, I guess, if you ski, but I don't. Loving it here anyway. So glad to be back. Coming here in the middle of a pandemic felt like, that Indiana Jones moment where he's running down this narrow hallway, someone's chasing him, and the doors are about to close, and he slides in just before the doors close. Like, yeah, that's how I felt when I got here. And 5 minutes after I got here, Omicron came out, and the war in Ukraine, and it's like, wow, escape.
Yeah.
So I'm here now, and I've set up my business, user-friendly website design, and just, yeah, like I said, just grooving in that finally settling moment.
Yes, your travels were quite extensive, getting you and your puppy and all your goods and services
Yes.
here in the middle of a pandemic. And
Yeah. Well, she's loving it because, it's all in the UK, it's all farmland, especially in England. We got here and it's all woods, and she would look out the window, driving in the car, and like, oh my God, there's all these trees. And did not want to be in the car. So she's good, and we're just happy to be here now.
excellent. Thank
So
you.
thanks for the wonderful presentation. This has been really educational today.
Excellent. So glad you could join us. Liz, up to you, and then it's going to be Leah.
Hi, I'm Liz Comden. I am on the West Coast in Cormac, a little tiny community that's pretty much one street long, if anyone doesn't know it. So I own Sea Salt and Twig, and it started out as jewelry, and we branched into a new line, our apothecary line, where we wildcraft skincare made with nature from Newfoundland, and our designs line has turned into becoming more well-crafted, handcrafted, representing Newfoundland and Labrador, and what makes this province so unique. And we've recently this year moved into more wholesale. So that has been an interesting adventure, and we do our first wholesale craft and gift show in a couple of weeks. So yeah, so that's where we are.
Excellent. Thank you, Liz.
Thanks.
Welcome. Leah, you're up next, and then Carla.
Hi, my name is Leah Kalpis, and I'm with the YMCA Western Newfoundland in Corner Brook with the Employment Supports Division. We do a lot of work with individuals in the community looking to get ready for work in whatever capacity that may be for them. I will put a plug in that we are doing a workforce focus group on Monday, so the 28th, and I'll attach the link there to our kind of poster. But yeah, I'll leave it open there for when Ashley gets her turn to speak about it as well. But yes, that's what we have going on right now.
Excellent. Thank you, Leah. You're on my list to make sure I mentioned your event. So thank you for bringing it up instead so I don't forget. Carla, you're up next, and then Ashley. No, your mic's open, but I'm not hearing you.
So many buttons. Thanks, Carol.
There you go.
Sorry.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody, for the marvelous presentation. Great to see so many faces. I'm Carla May. I am a business startup advisor with NLO, Newfoundland and Labrador Organization of Women Entrepreneurs. I am the advisor for the West Coast, and I'm based in Corner Brook. So I'm happy to help anybody with their business startup questions, and my email is there in the chat. Thanks, everybody.
Excellent. I think Carla has helped many of us on this call, myself included. We love Carla. Ashley, over to you.
Here we go.
There you go.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for the great presentation, you guys. I really appreciated all of that information. It was wonderful. My name is Ashley Christopher. I'm a career coach based in Corner Brook at the YMCA of Western Newfoundland. Leah is my fantastic counterpart. To give you just a quick kind of overview as such into what we've kind of been up to. We began a Newfoundland Labrador Workforce Innovation Centre project in October of 2019. We're kind of midway now through our project. The basis of that was research around the barriers to employment in the Corner Brook and Bay of Islands area and what supports we could develop and design from that to address those barriers in youth and adults. So our research essentially, we thought it was finished in January of 2020, but as 2020 progressed, everything changed for all of us, I guess. From our initial research, we deliver client-centered pre-employment trainings. We have work terms available, which we're still kind of working on the work term piece of it because with every step forward we've made over the course of the last 6 months or so, things, we've had to pivot, we've had to change direction just a little tiny bit. And through the course of last year, it was, we kind of sat there and determined that our original program models for pre-employment trainings didn't really fit what employers and employees were looking at as such. So now we are at the stage where we've we have several individuals who in the next 6 to 8 weeks will hopefully be in work placements in businesses in our community, with ample pre-employment training, um, and that type of thing, and everything. That was a really long spiel. I'm sorry. Um, so part of our pivot was to host a focus group that dealt with employers and employees and those individuals who are self-employed, and realistically anybody who has felt the impact of COVID. We want to hear from you. So that's going to be taking place on Monday, at 2 o'clock. Leah, I think, did post the Zoom link, or sorry, the registration link in
I
the
did throw that in the chat. Yeah.
beautiful. And the basis of this workforce focus group is we want to spend an hour having a chat with with our community partners, with people from outside of the region. We can share how our programs and services and all of those good things have been impacted by COVID. But we kind of wanted to turn the tables and see how employers, employees, and the general population are feeling as we seemingly make tracks to move past that. So yeah, that's that's kind of where we're at right now.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So
You're welcome.
session on Monday, you can register and you'll get your information from them. I know I've been extremely fortunate. I haven't really been negatively impacted by COVID, but one of the things that I liked in the invitation was just a discussion about how the workplace itself has actually changed, and that I can say for sure. How I conduct my business has changed. So I'm interested, looking forward to the discussion on Monday.
Thank you. So that leads me to just one more point. I'm sorry.
Yep.
That brings, that is the basis where we want to gauge from everybody's perspective how your needs have changed as an employer, as an employee, as an individual. Just because it impacts what we do and how we serve our clients realistically. And the more information we have with respect to that going forward, it helps us do a better job. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. We're so glad you and Leah could join us today. So we've got the upcoming event with Ashley on Monday, our next coffee break, and I'm sure Allison's going to pop in links here in a moment. Our next coffee break is on April 21st. We are looking at where are we going again, Alison? Down to the Indigenous community, working with Indigenous supports for Indigenous entrepreneurs, as well as doing business with Indigenous entrepreneurs. So we're looking at, I know I've been fortunate, I've been so blessed to have done quite a bit of work with Halapu recently. I'm working with the Nunatsiavut government right now, doing some planning virtually with them. And it's, as a non-Indigenous person, I'm just so grateful that I'm being invited to the table and learning more about their culture. I'm also learning working with them is different than working with other clients, and it's there are some cultural differences, and so navigating that is interesting. Certainly not negative in any way. It's just shifting a little bit on how you approach a few things, which is awesome to learn. Every day I'm learning with them. I keep telling them they're teaching me more than I'm teaching them. So it's a great relationship. So that's a little bit of a snippet. We're still working out details of who we're going to have and what more will be coming on that. But our next date, save the date, April 21st. You've been teased all along here today, so I'll turn to Allison to give the full reveal now of what Jillian and Sarah and Mariana have been mentioning of what's coming up in June.
Okay, so we've been having early discussions about an event that we're going to be hosting from June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and it's going to be a social impactathon event. Basically, revolving around social entrepreneurship and the social movement. There's certain areas that we're going to target and get everyone together to help come up with ideas to help create social change here in the Western region. The agenda is still preliminary at this moment. We're still sort of working out the kinks, but essentially there'd be workshops on the 2nd, which is a Thursday, a big evening event on the 3rd, which is the Friday, where we hear from a number of speakers from community about the different challenges that they're facing. And then on the Saturday, the 4th, everyone would get together, come up with ideas and solutions, and then there would be a pitch competition that evening. So we'll be sending out, this is just save the date, we'll be sending out some posters, more information shortly. Jillian, did you want to jump in with any more details about that? Because there are prizes involved for winning teams. And
yeah, so the CSE is really, really excited about this event. As I've mentioned a few times, we're trying to do more that's outside of St. John's, so we're really excited to be working with Navigate on this. We will be having the prizes, like we mentioned, with our student challenge events that have been here in St. John's. So there will be prize money to be won, and a lot of networking to happen. And also just kind of in addition, so we are going to have workshops on social enterprise related topics and social finance. We hope Mariana will be bringing one of those to that event, but also our team is just going to be in Corner Brook and be available. So if people wanted to, have an in-person get together, chat, talk about kind of concerns or questions or whatever, brainstorm ideas, we are going to be there and we're going to make ourselves available for that. So just to, put that idea in your minds, we are coming. We're really excited about it. I love the West Coast, so can't wait to get out there and just talk social enterprise. So, think on it. You've got 9 weeks, I guess, or not even, to ponder that a little bit. And we hope to see you. And I'll say we'll be bringing some of our friends who are working in this space in the area. So if you're not already connected to social enterprise activity on the West Coast and Northern Peninsula, we will be having hoping anyway, got to get the invitations out to them, but bringing some of our pre-existing friends and contacts from the area. So great opportunity to meet some of those people who are already working in this space. And us, we want to meet you folks, so we can't wait. We hope you come out.
And we're very excited to have you out, and it'll, if all things align and we have everything in place at the new center, it will be hosted at the new Center for Research and Innovation. Again, with shipping, hopefully we'll have all of our furniture by then, but if not, it'll be hosted up at Grenfell.
That's cool.
We're very excited to be partnering on this event, and really grateful that you were able to join us today and give everyone sort of a first look at some of the work you do, and again to show everyone that social entrepreneurship is open to everyone, and that we all have a role to play in it, and this is the way forward. And before long, it's just going to be embedded in how we do business all around, which is going to be a great thing to see. So thank you again, and thank you for everyone who joined us today. As always, we're very grateful to have you as part of this community, and let us know if there are any topics that you want us to discuss during our coffee breaks, or any things that you need. We're here for you. Carol, we can maybe jump to the next slide really quickly there as well, because I know a lot of people have to run.
Yeah, I've got a couple other events I wanted to mention too.
Absolutely.
If I could just jump in quickly. Kim Todd is offering a workshop on Tuesday, March 29th in the evening called Let's Get Digital. And it's a user-friendly workshop which will look at things like search engine optimization, social focus, your brand, and collaborating. So Allison will get the link up into chat for that to register. As well, Futurepreneur, Scott wasn't able to join us today, Scott Andrews, but our Rock My Business series with Futurepreneur for those under the age of 40 Futurepreneur provides funding, but anyone can actually take part of their workshops, which is great. Alice and I are keep lobbying for a maturepreneur. But anyway, Futurepreneur is offering a Rock My Business free virtual 3-part workshop series that really helps startups get going. So they're starting again next week. The first one is Rock My Business Idea, and that's on March 28th. So if you have any events, Allison is fantastic. Her and her team are great at promoting your events and sharing what we have. And so back to you, Allison, about your other resources that you have.
Okay, and I'm just putting actually the links over here for that Guide to the Good Let's Get Digital event and Rock My Business as well. Just going to get those over there for you.
So I'll just talk to this while you're doing that. Navigate Small Business has all of the entrepreneurs. There's templates. I was teasing Mariana. She's got the value proposition behind her and the business model canvas behind her. All those things are available on Navigate's website. Newsletters and recordings of our events. This is where the recording of this will go. As well, if you're not yet on the business directory, it's a fantastic directory. It's just a visual of logos. So it's nice and clean and crisp, but make sure you get your logo up there. You can take a look at how other entrepreneurs are profiled, and then Allison can get you up on that directory as well.
Just send me an email. If you go and so under our ecosystem section on the website, if you just click on any one of the logos, it'll bring you to a page for each business. And just follow the same format and send me your logo with the information that matches that format, and we can get it up there for you.
Yeah. And stay connected. As always, follow Navigate, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can sign up for the newsletter. We do a recap. I'm telling you right now that Allison's been copying everything that you're putting in chat because she does that. But we'll give the shout out to everyone who has attended. Even those that have registered and weren't able to join, we do send off your contact information as well. So it's a great way, again, to get your name out there. As always, Allison's contact information is there. And 1 minute to spare. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today for our March Ecosystem Coffee Break. I've already got a registration come in for April, so you guys are keen. So thank you. And we look forward to seeing you next month. Stay safe. Stay dry, warm, cold if you prefer to be out in the snow, whatever it is. But so thankful that you joined us today and wish you all the best. And hopefully we'll see you next month.
Hopefully
Take care,
the snow will be
everybody.
gone by the time you guys get here, Jillian.
I hope so. I'm not much of a snow person, but